As a part of his third visit to Lebanon this year and his last visit, the European Union's High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security and Vice President of the European Commission, Josep Borrell, delivered a speech at a press conference after meeting with the Speaker of Parliament, Nabih, where he reiterated the European Union's stance on what is happening in Lebanon and in the region. He said that what is going on in the Middle East, especially in Lebanon, is putting the international community at risk, and this war has already taken an international dimension and cannot proceed and continue due to the loss of lives that is happening and due to the instability in the region. He is saying that the no peace that we have in Lebanon and the Middle East is unaffordable anymore for those that are dying, those that are present in Lebanon, those in the region, and those even in the world. He mentioned that his visit in September, when he visited in September, he hoped that this war would not escalate and would not reach the entirety of Lebanon. But 2 months later, Lebanon is on the brink of collapse, as described by Mr. Borrell. The villages in South Lebanon, most of them are entirely destroyed. And even in Beirut and the airstrikes in Beirut and Baalbek, he mentioned that the human toll is extremely heavy and the Lebanese people cannot take it. More than 3,500 people have been killed by Israel. And this is more than 3 times the number of victims of the July 2006 war. He talked about the medical workers that have been injured. Among the 15,000 people injured in Lebanon, he thanked the efforts done by the US and by France, and he supports both efforts. And he reiterated the importance of Lebanese forces being along the Litani River, the withdrawal of Hezbollah fighters and of Israeli troops, the re-establishment of full Lebanese sovereignty by land, air, and sea. He even supported the work done by UNIFIL and UNRWA in supporting, especially UNRWA, in supporting those in Gaza and in Lebanon, and that these services cannot be supplied by anyone else. And the EU condemned the role passed by the Israeli Knesset and urged the Israeli government not to implement this decision. He mentioned that while he was in Jordan talking to UN representatives, he talked about providing aid to Gaza, and he also mentioned this topic with the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. He also mentioned giving 200 million euros to the Lebanese army and reiterated his help to caretaker Prime Minister Najib and Commander-in-Chief Joseph Aoun to help the army financially and technically, and that the efforts of the ceasefire is in the hands of both parties. He also mentioned and stressed on the fact that the Lebanese officials have to elect a president and end the presidential vacuum. And he also thanked the Lebanese people for their generosity and what they have showcased during this war and helping the people who have been escaping the war. It is tragic. He mentioned that it is tragic that we weren't able to put an end to this war, and that the Israeli government must be pressured to accept the US proposal for a ceasefire, and that this proposal is awaiting a decision from the Israeli government. He asked them to respect the international community, to respect the decision of the International Criminal Court, and he mentioned that the ICC is not political but is fully taking in accordance with international law, and this decision should apply to anyone, and the EU supports the decision of this court. He says that a ceasefire should soon happen and bombardments have to stop in order to save the lives in Lebanon. And this was everything mentioned by Mr. Borrell during his third and last visit to Lebanon.